DRG Media Group and River 92.7 are bringing you all home Oahe Zap games all season long. Tune in on the radio, listen on the app, or watch live on drgnews.com. Now, let's send it to the broadcast booth for some Oahe Zap baseball.
And welcome to Hyde Stadium on an overcast and breezy afternoon here in central South Dakota. Perfect day for some baseball if you're a fan of the Zap or the Sasquatch. Maybe not so much if you're an outfielder. That wind is blowing hard to right field. Hello, everybody. I'm Justin Coward alongside Dylan Beach, producer, director, and engineer extraordinaire Eli Lewis up in the booth with us. We are so glad you're joining us tonight on River 92.7. We're also streaming this game live on drgnews.com. And I bring in Dylan. You know, we were just talking before we went on air here. It is a little breezy, a little windy out there. Going to be tough to handle some of these pop flies here this afternoon, but a left-handed hitter's paradise here today on a Thursday evening at Hyde Stadium.
Yeah, for sure. Blowing out towards that right field wall. Still a bit of a rain chance here tonight. We'll hopefully need to knock on some more drywall here tonight for Eli Lewis to get that rain out of here.
Well, we did figure out that we do have some wood here on the trainer's table, and as we look around, we found some more. So if we do need to get superstitious, then we are covered. It is going to be a big game here for the Zap this afternoon. They went down yesterday in a tough fashion, but they look to split this series here this afternoon between the Sasquatch. Squatch got above 500 yesterday with that win. 8-7 is their record on the season. Zap looking for their 6th win here early on, and a very unique playoff format for these two teams in the ILB. We'll get to that as we dive into the game. There's a lot going on in central South Dakota as the fans make their way into Hyde Stadium. It's Delta Dental Night here at the ballpark, and they were giving out some very cool sunglasses, some toothbrushes for free. They get some bags that you can put all this stuff in. I know we see some fans lining up at the concession stands. A lot more fans hanging over at the beer cooler. But, Dylan, you know, this is a pretty big game, and the Zap feel that. They feel that from that loss yesterday. We'll get into what happened in that 7th inning here in a moment. But we're trotting out Easton Pratt on the mound here this afternoon. This is a big one for the Zap today.
Yeah, you got the ace on the bump, and then you're likely going to have Josh Porter out of the bullpen here today. No excuses for your pitching room. You got 2 of your better guys due today. Should be a fun pitching performance for the Oahe Zap.
So let's dive into Easton Pratt a little bit. You and I were talking as before we went on air. This is the guy when you need to win a big game before you go on the road for 3 against this very same team. This is the guy you want to have on the mound in a very crucial game.
Yeah, 6'5" flamethrower has shown that he can be the best pitcher in this staff this year. The numbers back it up. He's been incredible to start the year. He's looking for a new home, playing for that spot. So it should be a nice performance out of him.
I must mention there is a classic car show going on a couple hundred feet past the right field wall. A couple cars that look like they're in the 6-figure range, and they might not have picked the best day to park those nice new cars. Well, I should say nice old cars that still don't have a scratch on them. We got some heavy hitters coming out of both dugouts here today.
Yeah, that is the one place I would not want to park, and coincidentally, I'm parked pretty close to him tonight. I did not know it was going to be wind blowing that direction, so we're going to be praying for the old Chevy Impala tonight.
Well, we'll see if everybody can stay protected. We got a new umpire out on the field. It'll be Corey Baker stepping in for Dylan Turner. Richard Gilmore back behind the plate here this evening, as Gilmore has been behind the plate. And we actually had a really candid conversation with both of these two umpires. Something that we were curious about yesterday afternoon was the dialogue between umpire and catcher, and he said, it's happening all the time. And that's an important dialogue to have. You need to have a good relationship with the catcher and the umpire. And he said sometimes those catchers are best friends. And he was talking a little bit about the strike zone, where that ball needs to cross, where the ball needs to be caught, and how those strikes need to be called. It was a pretty interesting conversation with those two guys.
Yeah, I don't think I'd ever really had that long of an extended conversation with an umpire, but some really fun topics of conversation. And I was telling him, I was like, I don't envy you the spot you guys are in. You have to make the hardest calls in the game, but they've been doing it for a long time. They're an experienced crew, and they should be consistent here again tonight.
So let's dive into yesterday afternoon's ball game. It was a really, really nice outing from the Spearfish Sasquatch starter Tristan Agadal. He came out. He was very highly touted, and, I'd say he lived up to expectations, carried a perfect game bid into the 5th inning before Alex Jackson took him on a softly hit base hit into center field.
Yeah, one of the only D1 pitchers in this league, and he was as good as advertised. We've been talking about how tall he is, but I got to talk to Coach a bit about him in the interview that we'll have in a bit. Some fascinating stuff about Tristan Agadol.
So let's dive into yesterday's game a little bit. It was close, really, until it wasn't. The Zap finally got into Tristan Agadol. You're going to hear about what Jamie Habiger had to say to his team in that impassioned speech down before they got into that bottom of the 6th inning. When the Zap scored 3 runs and they were knocking on the door, they had runners on the base paths, and it felt like they actually might take the lead, but felt like a confidence booster, not only in that game, but coming into today's game for the Zap offense, but to really good to see that they could feel like they were getting themselves in position and starting to hit the ball, and we're finding their rhythm as an offense against one of the best pitchers likely in this league.
He had only allowed 1 base runner to reach coming into the night in his 4 innings he has pitched, and he was a great pitcher, and the guys got to him, and I am really interested to see how they respond tonight after a loss like that last night. One that kind of just rips your heart out of your chest. A real heartbreaker last night, but you did some things right. You got to get back to those things and try to bounce back here tonight.
Absolutely, and we'll see if some of that confidence can carry in. Some of the stuff that happened in that 7th inning, it was Brady Glenn that came in for it. We saw Aiden Johnson go onto the mound to start, and it was nice to see Aiden Johnson, and he, after he gave up 3 runs in the 1st inning, kind of settled in there, got into some trouble there in the 3rd inning. Wyatt Gladue came in relief, and Wyatt pitched outstanding yesterday afternoon, really keeping the Zap in that ball game while they were just trying to chip away at Tristan Agadol.
Yeah, 3 scoreless innings from Gladue yesterday. It was a really impressive relief appearance for him, as he's just trying to keep this going on this season, as it was kind of a bit of an unlucky day for Braxton Plemons after him. I thought Plemons was pitching himself a good day as well, but just kind of didn't get some of those on-the-edge strikes that he really needed to get out of his performance yesterday.
Absolutely. And then in that 7th inning, they did have the opportunity to get out a ground ball hit with 2 outs to Caden Bazanski at second base. Caden was just trying to make a play. I think after we talked about it a little more, we didn't get the chance. We didn't want to talk to Caden and really kind of harp on it. A really tough play for him. But he went to second base when there was 2 outs. He couldn't get the force play in time, a play that he probably should have just thrown over to first base. But all in all, it was just a kid trying to make a play. But then Sam Kwapnoski, you got to give credit to the Sasquatch, because they took the opportunity and hit a grand slam on the very next pitch, and then 2 more runs came across. It was a 7-run frame in the 7th, and that was kind of all she wrote for the Zap.
Yeah, and it was just a no-doubter grand slam. It was a beautiful swing, and I mean, you got to give him credit. It's a 2nd homer already, and I mean, he has really been swinging the cover off the baseball, and we see a lot of Sasquatch batters who can really put a charge into these baseballs.
All right, we're going to step away while we have our introduction of starting lineups. We'll meet both starting lineups here this afternoon, and when we come back, we'll have first pitch for you right here on River 92.7 and streaming on drgnews.com at the River 92.7 station page, and also on the Zap YouTube.
Speaking of travel, Pierre Regional Airport offers non-stop flights to Denver. Starting August 1st, book your destination at United.com. With United Mileage Plus, you can save more by earning miles when you fly from Pierre Regional Airport. 1-hour flights to Denver and the world beyond. Avoid the crowds, avoid the drive, and enjoy free parking when you fly from Pierre Regional Airport. United Airlines in Pierre starting August 1st. Skip the drive. Fly from Pierre.
We're good at making excuses for things we don't want to do.
I can't work late because my cat has a job interview.
Unfortunately, we're also good at making excuses for things we shouldn't do, like driving drunk.
There's nothing on the back roads but cows.
The truth is, there's no good reason to drink and drive, not even if you stick to the back roads. If you drink, don't drive. No excuses. Brought to you by the South Dakota Office of Highway Safety, South Dakota Broadcasters Association, and this station.
If you're interested in becoming a valued sponsor of an Oahe Zap broadcast, you can contact us for more information at sports@dakotaradiogroup.com or call us at 605-224-8686.
Hey Zap baseball fans, it's Justin Cowart. If you're interested in a podcast that's sports and only sports, you need to check out Players Perspective. I have athletes and coaches from the South Dakota area and across the country, from the high school all the way up to the professional level. Come on and tell stories of their biggest and best moments of their athletic careers. If it's sports, you bet we cover it on Players Perspective Podcast, sponsored by Avera. You can find it wherever you find podcasts by searching DRG Media Group or on drgnews.com. Now, back to myself and Dylan Beach in the broadcast booth for some more Zap Baseball.
And we welcome you back here to Hyde Stadium. We're about to have our national anthem, so we're going to step away while Ronnie Traversi sings the national anthem for us here at Hyde Stadium on an overcast day. We'll fill you in on the weather here momentarily, but we give the floor to Miss Ronnie Traversi. Nicely done by Ronnie Traversi, as we have got both of our starting lineups down on the first and third base line. Starting for the Spearfish Sasquatch at the top of the lineup, playing in right field, will be Ethan Mooser. Carson Rather behind the dish tonight. Kyle Finn out in left field. Seth Nelson batting in the cleanup spot, playing first base. Sam Kwapnoski in the 5 spot, and we've still got another standoff going on between both coaching staffs. We'll see how long that continues on. Giovanni Mastrosa will be DHing today for the Squatch. Our first look at him here in this series. Peyton Ford at second base. Ben Foyer at shortstop, and Diego Trujillo will be hitting in the 9-hole. I'll give it over to Dylan Beach to read you today's Zap starting lineup.
Gavin Frazier leading off and playing shortstop once again. Nick Golden returns to the lineup in right field, batting 2. Vince Palizzi in the 3-hole and DHing today. Ty Farwell back behind the plate in the 4-hole. Trey Runge sliding into second base and batting 5th. Naruto Saito at 3rd and 7th. And then Quinn Ludvigsen at first, Andrew Phillips in center, and then Emiliano Curiel in left.
Thank you, Dylan. Our standoff is still going on. We've actually got 3 Zap players on that first baseline. If you weren't with us yesterday afternoon, they were. It was one of the assistant coaches. It wasn't Devin Skelton.
It was Wiggins.
Wiggins was down there on the first baseline. We didn't see. I think it might have been. Maybe it was Master Arosa over there, who was bullpen catching and made an outstanding play. Maybe so much so that he earned himself that DH position, turning around and catching a foul ball in the middle of catching a bullpen session.
We got Ponciano and Hudson Ivey out there in the standoff. They've given them helmets out there. They're out there for the long haul.
They got them prepped. They even got some snacks and a cup of water over there for the Sasquatch. Now, the Sasquatch player over there is standing. He's getting some batting gloves. He's getting all sorts of stuff. That is actually Ethan Mooser, I believe. He's wearing the number 27 jersey over there. Now we've got another catcher with a catcher's mitt standing along that first baseline. We messed up. We asked Richard Gilmore the wrong things about who should be... we asked him about the dialogue between catcher and pitcher and umpire. But we didn't ask him about what's the cutoff point for these guys standing on the first base line and third base line. They're going to go ahead and play with these guys. One Zap player is left. The first pitch is fouled off. And this is, I've never seen anything like this before. We have first pitch. We've got two players standing on the first and third baseline. Richard Gilmore is not having any of it. We'll see. And now the Sasquatch player has left, and the Zap have won the standoff.
Let's go, Ponciano.
A.J. Ponciano, who threw a great game the other night for the Zap, also just won them the standoff. So now the Zap are 2-0 in standoffs here against the Sasquatch. You'll have to let me know if that carries on the road trip.
This one's got to have a bit of an asterisk because Hudson Ivy left early, I have to say.
So Hudson Ivy left, but Ponciano stuck around. Ethan Musser fouls it down the left field line. That's an exciting start to a ball game.
I've never seen a game start with people on the foul lines.
Again, we'll just reiterate for you, the standoff comes between maybe some players that aren't playing or some assistant coaches, and after the national anthem wraps up, everybody but one or two guys will stay right there on the base paths. Well, actually, everybody will leave except for those one or two guys, as that one's taken outside for ball two.
And a lot of the time, they'll stand outside of the dugout in the majors. They don't really stay out on the foul line, but I've never seen a game start with the standoff still going. They typically shoo them off the field before it happens.
Here's the 2-2 pitch coming from Easton Pratt. That one is lifted high, and that might get down as giving chase and making an unbelievable diving play in left field is Emiliano Curiel. Web gem play of the game, and the first at bat of the game, Curiel came flying over down the left field line. I'll be honest, I never thought he had a chance of getting to that ball. He dives head first, catches it in his left-handed glove, and does a somersault along the left field line to make the first out of the inning. So much action here in the first at bat at Hyde Stadium, and this is what the folks come for, I'll tell you that.
No.
Absolutely. Sports Center top 10 play right there. And we might have to send that one in as Easton Pratt fires in a strike to Carson Rather.
That was incredible.
What a play by Emiliano Curiel. Lights are on here on an overcast day as Pratt will miss just a bit high. Richard Gilmore did give us a little insight into his strike zone. He said he's going to look for balls down in the zone, not going to be calling too many high strikes. As that one misses outside for ball two. Well, folks, we've had it all. We had some audio problems to kick off. We had a emergency alert from Rapid City come through as that one swung on and missed by Rather. We got those figured out, and in the midst of all that, we had a players' standoff after the national anthem, and then an unbelievable play in left field by Emiliano Curiel. We can just pack it up and go home now, as this one's fouled back into the caging behind home plate.
I mean, we might actually have to send that one in. That was incredible. I've never seen a player just about do a flip while catching the ball.
Oh, Emiliano Curiel has played mostly in center field, but now playing in left field this afternoon. I underestimated the speed of Curiel. I thought he had no chance. Here's the 2-2 in there for strike three, and Carson Rather goes down looking. I think Rather is wise not to have too many words with Richard Gilmore, as he'll be right behind the dish here in about one more out. And he'll be wanting that call here this evening. That'll give way to Kyle Finn, the tall left fielder, batting in the right-handed batter's box. And a good start for Easton Pratt, already 2 outs. And that one way up and in.
I will say one of the first things I noticed with this lineup card today is just it's a great defensive outfield. We've seen Nick Golden make a few plays already this year. Curiel was very fast and a great defender to be out in left of all places, and then Andrew Phillips, the speedster, out in center.
Absolutely, and Curiel might have benefited from that stiff breeze blowing out towards right field, as Pratt will get the strike call on the inside corner. That breeze kind of just kept that ball sitting right where it was. The left-handed batter in Ethan Musser, the way that trajectory was on that baseball, as that one swung on and missed for strike two. Not the best swing out of Kyle Finn. He was fooled on that off-speed pitch. When a left-handed hitter hits it down the left field line, usually it's got a little tail spin off towards the foul ground area, but the wind kept that one fair and kept it up just long enough for Emiliano Curiel to chase it down. The 0-2, giving Curiel another chance. This one's deep to left field, back to the warning track, at the wall. Curiel is under it, and that will retire the side. So Easton Pratt goes 1-2-3 in a very eventful top of the first inning, and we're going to stick right here with our first inning Fiber Facts, brought to you by Venture Communication. And I got to tell you, our producer and director Eli Lewis and my partner here, Dylan Beach, have just been dying to hear this new first inning Fiber Fact brought to you by Venture Communications. Did you know Venture Communications was formed in 1952 during a time when traditional telephone companies couldn't get phone lines to many of the areas they serve today? The rural residents and business owners took action, formed a committee that spurred the organization of a cooperative that we now call Venture Communications. So there's a little history lesson for you as our first inning Fiber Fact. And Venture can bring you fiber, and they can do it all. And remember, fiber is not affected by weather compared to the wireless signal traveling through the air or space. And I've got Venture Fiber hooked up in my house. We've had a couple storms roll through the central South Dakota area as of late, and boy, am I glad that I've got Venture Communications. They're doing great things. Check them out on Facebook. Have you guys seen those AI videos of the babies that they talk about? Eli Lewis is shaking his head. Yes, Dylan, I don't know if you have. You'll have to go over to Venture Communications and check it out. It's a hoot. They got these AI babies talking about different fiber facts for you and different things that Venture Communications are doing. I've even seen one of Donald Trump and Theo Vaughn.
I might go on a Fiber Fact binge watch tonight. Get them all in.
I know, you guys, I don't know what you're going to do for the next couple days being on the road, not having a new first inning Fiber Fact.
I'm going to be sad.
I know, it's going to be tough. I'll check with our great friends over at Venture Communications and try to send you some new Fiber Facts that you can just wet your whistle with in the first inning. We'll let you know when the Zap are going on the road after they wrap up Game 4 of this 4-game homestand against the Sasquatch. They'll be in Spearfish for 3. They'll be playing Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. They'll be back home for 1 against Hastings. That'll be on Monday night, and that'll be a 6:05 first pitch. We'll have the broadcast for you right here on River 92.7 and streaming on drgnews.com. On the bump for the Sasquatch is none other than William Fury, and you had a little bit about Mr. Fury, who's starting tonight for the Sasquatch, Dylan. Good pitcher. Got a low-velocity fastball, but a really nice changeup. Don't worry, you don't have to shuffle through your notes. I've got you covered. He's going to top out around mid-80s, mid to low 80s, but beware of that changeup. That is his specialty pitch. Thought I could throw it to my partner there, but I think he's still blown away by that Venture Communications first inning Fiber Fact.
Speechless, and I was just drawing blanks. I mean, it was a good fact. I love history.
And there was that changeup out of Fury. He gets it in 0-1 and now lifted in towards shallow right center field by Gavin Frazier, and a beautiful running catch made by Ethan Musser. So a couple of web gems being made here in the first inning by opposing outfielders. I won't say that Ethan Musser may have one-upped Emiliano Curiel's diving, somersaulting play in left field, but that was a pretty good play to get the first out of the inning there from Musser.
Yeah, he really had to get on his horse to catch up with that one.
And it is going to be tough for these outfielders dealing with that wind today. We've got clouds overhead that look like rain. We weren't supposed to have any in the forecast, but those from South Dakota know that can change in a matter of minutes. First pitch to Nick Golden is swung on and missed for strike 1. It was a really fun game yesterday afternoon, as that one swung on a miss, quickly 0-2. And that is something that you really need to be wary of with this Sasquatch hitting lineup. They can score some runs in the blink of an eye, and there is strike 3, dropped in the dirt, fielded cleanly there by Carson Rather. He'll fire down to first, and that'll be the second out of the inning. And the first strikeout of the ball game for William Fury.
I'm very curious to see how the batter's going to pick up the ball in this really overcast day. We haven't really had a cloud in sight the past couple of games at home, and
it's been absolutely perfect weather. I mean, depending on who you want to ask, we've got the benefit of the AC up here in the broadcast booth, so we didn't really feel any of that 93-degree heat. As Vince Polizzi, the designated hitter today for the Zap, takes strike 1 on the inside corner. Grounded sharply up the middle right to Ben Foyer. The sure-handed Foyer fires to first, and it's a 1-2-3 for the Sasquatch. So that'll bring us to the end of 1. We'll be back right after this short break with the top of the second inning. No score here from Hyde Stadium in Game 4 of this matchup between the Sasquatch and the Zap.
The summer is here, and you know what that means. The Oahe Zap are back, and we at DRG Media Group are bringing you coverage of every Zap home game all summer long. You can hear all the home Zap games on River 92.7, or you can watch them live on drgnews.com at the River 92.7 station page. The Zap are offering you fans something new every single night. So get out to Hyde Stadium for some Zap baseball this summer. Purchase your tickets on oahezap.com or buy them at the box office. If you can't make it to the game, we've got you covered on River 92.7 Oahe Zap Baseball, brought to you by DRG Media Group.
Back here at Hyde Stadium as Easton Pratt comes back out for the second inning. Has been a dominant start so far for him, as he has really emerged as this staff's ace here early in this season. 6'5" flamethrower, one of those get off the bus first type of guys. And one of the taller batteries I imagine we'll see this year, a 6'5" guy thrown to another 6'5" catcher.
Ty Farwell getting the start behind the dish tonight for the Zap. He's been really fun to watch. He's able to play a couple different positions. We mainly see him behind home catching, and we also seen him out at third, but we also got to see him out at first base the other afternoon. And I got to say, he did a pretty darn good job over there for not really playing much first base for this ball club.
Yeah, and it's impressive when you can play three very different positions at a high level. I mean, from first to third and then catching, I mean, it's a very impressive skill set, and with this loaded catcher room that we've been talking about, you got to be able to find game time when you can.
Well, you know, you hear people say he's a man that wears many hats. This is a guy that wears many different gloves, because he wears a catcher's mitt, you wear a different glove playing first base, and you got a different one playing third.
Got to have the equipment ready as first baseman Seth Nelson comes to the plate. Seth was rocking the cargo shorts on that hot day a couple days ago before he put on the pants and DH'd in that one, as that one misses away for ball one.
I don't blame him either. It was a scorcher the other afternoon.
And I wear my golf shorts for about every broadcast, but I haven't worn one in a baseball game, as the 1-0 turns 2-0. Pratt quickly behind here to a dangerous hitter, and we've kind of mentioned this lineup never gives away its dangerous 1 through 9 as Kwapnoski comes up afterwards. As that one popped up towards center field, Phillips chasing, and underneath it for out number 1.
That sounded a lot more ferocious than it actually ended up being. The crack of that bat made it sound like that was headed for the Boys and Girls Club, and nice to see Phillips get underneath it and get the first out of the inning.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking the same thing. I mean, was really cracked off the bat and just kind of died a bit. I've talked to some of the players about some of the dead zones of Hyde Stadium, and I'm pretty sure that is one of them, as it is also the deepest part of this ballpark, kind of out there in that 383 left center field area. As the 0-1 there from Pratt now sets and fires and misses outside for ball 1.
And this is Sam Kwapnoski, the guy who kind of stuck the dagger in the Zap hearts yesterday with that grand slam in the 7th inning.
Has really been an impressive player this season. The 1-1 now from Pratt. He thought about going on the pitch in the dirt, holds back for ball 2.
It was a nice block back there by Ty Farwell. Sounded like some solid contact on that quick fastball from Pratt.
Pratt trying to get back into this one. The 2-1 now. Sets and fires. Swung on, fouled back for strike 2. Pratt now a chance to get his second K of the night. That was his 22nd pitch. So he's working effectively here early. We've seen Pratt go as deep as 5 innings before this year. That one swung on and missed. Pratt gets the K swinging for out number 2.
Good off-speed pitch, had him thinking fastball, and he just pulled the string. And now we're getting our best Tristan Agadal impression out of Easton Pratt here this afternoon.
Very similar height, and I'd maybe even add pitch mix. Agadal had some really nice off-speed to complement his ferocious fastball, as Easton Pratt also can really pump it in, but has some good off speed as we see the check there. The appeal down the line.
They didn't appeal. Richard Gilmore said he win. Didn't even have to check with Corey Baker on that one.
I mixed up him calling the strike there with the appeal. It kind of looked like he was pointing because Corey's down that first base line. With these two umpire crews, we've kind of seen them set up in a multitude of different ways. The 0-1 now from Pratt in the dirt for ball one.
Well, it always cracks me up with having the two umpires and you've got runners on base. That base umpire will switch his position, so he'll move over right in front of second base, and then they'll appeal to him like he's got an angle on the plate.
As that one skips in, Farwell might have took his mask off a bit earlier there. It looked like it almost hit him in the head.
It did. The ball actually bounced up, knocked his mask and his helmet off. That's the danger of an Easton Pratt fastball down in the dirt. We saw him take one off the chest, and then that one just kind of yard sailed him. Everything ended up on the dirt.
Skipped in on him for ball two. Count 2-1. Score at nothing apiece here as Pratt steps off the mound.
And I'm curious what this conversation is between Giovanni Mastrorosa and Richard Gilmore. I think he was looking up at maybe the balls and strikes count on the scoreboard. Maybe didn't see something that he thought was correct.
2-1 now. In there for strike two. Nice fastball there from Pratt to get this count evened up. Mastrorosa, the first we've seen of him in this series. We saw him make a nice play with his hat last night while he was protecting the bullpen catcher. It was a sharply hit ball to him in the sunniest part of the night as the 2-2. Doesn't give way to the ball in the dirt. Counts full now at 3-2.
I don't think we'll have any issues with the sunlight here this afternoon. Dark clouds hanging over top. We looked at the forecast. Looks like we might get some rain later tonight. I think it's good that both of these pitchers are working quickly.
3-2 chop towards Saito. Across the diamond to Ludvigsen. In time. 1-2-3 for Pratt. And the Zap lineup will be right back after we go to my interview with Coach Habiger from earlier today. The Oahe Zap here with Coach Jamie Habiger. Coach, we saw you bring the team out on the field, fire them up. What was kind of the message in that huddle?
Message was pick up the intensity. We were kind of flat there. They scored a few runs on us. We let them get into our heads a little bit. So, it's just kind of a reset, get them pumped up for the next following innings, and I think we did that.
Yeah, we saw the team get to Agudal. What was kind of the team's approach to try to attack a pitcher of his quality?
Yeah, his off speed was really good. Second time around we started getting better at bats. Third time around we got on him. So, with a guy like that, you just got to have patience and take what we can get.
Last game before we head back out on the road, what's kind of the message to the team tonight?
You know what? Our message is always on a rough game like the night before, just flush it, have some fun. This is summer ball, so we're out here to have some fun. Of course, we're trying to get the best competitive team out there we can get. So, you know what? Flush it and move forward and have fun and go get them.
Thank you, Coach.
Go Zap.
Go Zap indeed, and boy, did he ever get after those guys in that meeting out in front of the dugout yesterday. But it worked. He really sent that message. They listened and scored 3 runs and possibly could have scored more there in the bottom of the 6th inning. But it seems like these guys really have taken a liking to and have a lot of respect for head coach Jamie Habiger.
Yeah, and a different group every year, but you have some of those returners to maybe help teach his message to this team, as we'll see one of the newcomers, Ty Farwell, to the plate. The 4-5-6 due up for the Oahe Zap. Farwell, Runge, and Saito, as the 0-0 to Farwell misses outside for ball one. Fury, not maybe the velo of some of his counterparts we've seen in this series so far, but has that lethal changeup as he delivers in there for ball two.
Close pitch there. I think Fury's going to try to wonder where he has to work that in. It looked like it might have caught the inside corner, but Gilmore's always had a really consistent zone in this series.
Farwell fouls that one off for strike one. I was kind of thinking the same thing. I was sort of thinking that one was going to be called a strike originally, as he just couldn't get the call, but now gets strike one on the foul ball from Farwell.
Farwell, being a tall guy too, his strike zone moves up a little bit.
As he hops that one towards center field. Under it for out number 1 is Kwapnoski. Farwell goes down on a deep fly as it brings Trey Runge to the plate, second baseman here tonight. Second base room kind of dealing with the injury of Cole Ottersberg right now. We saw him play a lot out in Casper, including a stolen home base from him as Runge comes up with 1 out. That one in there for ball 1. As maybe Ottersberg just giving himself a bit of time to recover. He had a bit of a protective brace on that finger as the 1-0 turns 2-0. Saw Ottersberg pinch run in this series. He had that mitt on the other hand than we would typically expect, and I believe it was the hand that is injured currently, so maybe a bit of protective gear as Runge quickly ahead in this count 3-0.
Yeah, usually you'll see runners put that mitt when they're on first base on their right hand to protect pickoff attempts from hitting him on that hand, but because he's got that injury on the left hand.
Runge checks. No appeal went through on that one for strike 1.
He's putting it on the left hand just to keep any protective possibility of that hand getting hit.
Swung on there for strike 2. Runge was ahead in the count 3-0. Fury doing a good job here to fight back. As the payoff pitch. In there for strike 3. Runge goes down looking.
Nice at bat there from William Fury at the got behind 3-0. I think Trey Runge, he looked like he had the green light on that 3-0 pitch. Tried to check his swing. It was in there for a strike anyway. And then Fury doing a wonderful job getting back in that at bat and getting the K.
Fury working fast here. In there for ball 1 to Saito. We saw Saito taking BP earlier, and while he doesn't look like it, hit an absolute shot out in BP, so that was one of the things they were working with him as he watches in strike 1, is really swinging through pitches rather than putting kind of those slaps into play as that one in there for strike 2. Saito's really shown some impressive plate discipline this season. He's drawn some walks. Have to fight here as he just slaps that one back to the shortstop across the diamond in time. Zap go down 1-2-3 to Furry, and we will be right back here for the top of the third.
Support the Highmore Volunteer Fire Department next Friday, June 20th at 8 p.m. for their street dance with music by the Urbandale Lane Band. Then on Saturday, come enjoy a smoked roast beef sandwich, sweet corn, and potato salad from 5:30 to 7:30, just $15 a plate, all located at the Highmore Fire Hall. So please join us to support the Highmore Volunteer Fire Department next Saturday, June 21st at 5:30. This invitation brought to you by Titan Machinery.
Here at the DRG Media Group, we know free, over-the-air radio works to get the word out. But we also know these days people consume information at different times of day and through a variety of different platforms. DRG Media Group's AM and FM radio stations, drgnews.com website, and DRG News mobile app provide local news, sports, weather, area high school athletic events, music and entertainment news, and more. And thanks to all our advertisers, it's available to you for free. But we want you to share information with us too. By using the Contact Us feature on the drgnews.com website or the DRG News mobile app, you can send us a request for advertising information, a news or sports item, a weather cancellation, and more. Fill in your information, select which type of inquiry you have, provide the relevant details, then click Submit. We make qualifying information available to the public using our various DRG Media Group platforms.
Back here at Hyde Stadium, and we welcome you into the booth for the first time here in this series. We told you it was Delta Dental night, and they're handing out some free shades. We had some free toothbrushes as well. This is just one of the many things that you can come to Hyde Stadium and get here. I think we don't need the shades here this afternoon, but I think we'll look pretty good as a crew up here.
Very dark with these on now.
I know, we should have had Delta Dental night on a night where there was some more sunlight. As thanks to Eli Lewis for showing off some shades here in the broadcast booth. We head back down to the field. Easton Pratt back to work for the Zap. I got to lose these shades. I can't even see anything that's going on down on the field as Peyton Fort, the hot-hitting left-handed batter, and second baseman steps in, and he takes ball one outside.
They gave me the sunglasses earlier, and they said you can have them as long as you'll wear them tonight, and I was like,
well,
this might be an issue, but
we kept our promise.
We did wear them for a bit.
That one inside. Peyton Fort taking that one, bouncing across the plate. Overcast afternoon. The dark clouds have kind of given way. They're a lighter shade, but no sunlight to be seen. As Easton Pratt has fallen behind 2-0. That's ripped up the middle on a hitter's count, and Peyton Fort continues his outstanding work at the plate. And that'll be the first Sasquatch base runner and the first hit of this ball game for either side.
Yeah, just a nice piece of hitting. Power versus power, just slapped it back up the middle, and just an impressive start to this season for Peyton Fort.
Absolutely. I think every team in the ILB would love to have a And some fans down there, a couple of the Zap ball players that are not playing today handed out some free sunglasses. That one's fouled into the cage, ricochets off into the crowd, takes a couple of popcorn hops around, and rolls over to one lucky fan. That works the count. Back to 0-2 after the swing and the miss, and now the foul. Pratt one strike away from retiring Foyer. Pratt taking a couple peeks over at Peyton Fort at first. That one misses high and away for ball one. Another good crowd here of Zap fans. See some athletes from the T.F. Riggs High School athletic community here tonight. Of course, our customary Pier Wildcats are here tonight selling some bingo cards as that one misses low and away. Pratt comes set with the 2-2. Deep breath from Easton Pratt, now delivers, and that one swung on and missed for strike 3. Foyer couldn't catch up to the fastball. It's the first out of the inning, and that'll bring up another new face here, Diego Trujillo, playing third base here today for the Squatch.
Actually pitched in that first game of the series, and first time we'll see him in the field. It was a weird name to kind of see. I thought he was just a pitcher, but evidently a two-way guy, just like Nick Golden.
Should have been more clear. First time we're seeing him at the plate and in the field. That one bounces past Ty Farwell. Peyton Fort going to take second base, now peeking towards third, but Farwell able to leg stretch it over and get to it before Peyton Fort could get over to third.
As that takes away the double play that could have ended the inning for the Zap.
We haven't seen many double play opportunities, let alone double plays, in this series. There's been some good base running, and now Easton Pratt going to step off. Takes a quick trip around the mound. We have seen a lot of visits to the mound with runners on second base. The battery trying to get things figured out with their signs. They don't want them getting picked up. There's the 1-0. That one catches the bottom of the strike zone for strike 1. Trey Runge shading over there towards second base. He's wearing some shades. A lot of shades on top of hats here this afternoon for the Zap ball players. Don't think they'll be needing those anytime soon. Pratt comes set. Here's the 1-1. That one's driven right towards Runge. Plays it on a Sunday hop and fires to first. Peyton Fort will take third base, but the throw is in time, and that'll be the second out of the inning. And now we'll see if Easton Pratt can get out of here unscathed.
Yeah, you'll take that trade every time. The runner advances to third, but you get the sac fly off the table. Now you just got to go attack that runner at the plate and make sure you don't have any wild pitches here.
Back to the top of the lineup for the Sasquatch, Ethan Mooser, who was the victim of an Emiliano Curiel Sports Center top 10 play in the first at-bat of this game. And he'll take strike 1 right down the middle. Tell you, Ethan Mooser's quite animated with both Dylan Turner and tonight Richard Gilmore. When he doesn't like a call, he lets the home plate umpire know about it. Here's the 0-1. Swung on and missed for strike 2.
I'm not sure that's how I'd go about it, because I feel like you're just making an enemy more so than getting any sort of feedback.
Well, I don't think Richard Gilmore's got too many enemies. He's a
very nice guy.
Very nice guy. Hard guy not to like, as is Corey Baker. Here's the 0-2. That's in the dirt. Nice stop by Farwell.
Baker, in-town guy, coming in for Dylan Turner. Host a player, Alexander Jackson. We thank Corey Baker for being a host family as well as all our host families.
Very cool thing that this community does. They bring in these Zap players. And in exchange, they get season tickets. I think that those fans would come to these games regardless. And a nice little benefit there. Curveball misses low in the dirt. Count runs 2-2.
And it really makes the Zap an attractive place to work, go play baseball for. I know it's the reason it brought me to Pier was the host families.
Well, I think that you guys as an intern crew are getting along just fine. Seems like you guys have been together for years. If you had told me it was just this season, I wouldn't believe you. That one slapped down the left field line, going to curl. Out foul. And the chase is on. A couple sliding fans going into the fence, putting their bodies on the line for a free slushie and a trading card.
It's a bit of a collision there.
Got to be careful. Pratt coming set, trying to keep that runner at bay on third base. Ethan Mooser, the 2-2 pitch, is in there for strike 3. Great pitch from Easton Pratt, and that'll end the inning. The Squatch get their first hit of the ball game, but they leave him stranded on the base path. Still no score. We head to the bottom of the third here at Hyde Stadium. We'll be back with the bottom half after this short break.
Looking for happenings in Central South Dakota? The Pierre Area Chamber of Commerce Community Calendar is your go-to for all the latest events. From entertainment to local benefits, community activities, and more, there's something for everyone. Email your event to contactchamber@pierre.org and it will be listed on the weekly calendar. To view the calendar, go to www.pierre.org. Let's celebrate together in the heart of South Dakota. The Pierre Area Chamber of Commerce, connecting our community one event at a time.
Doing a little spring cleaning at your house? I'm Val Keller, City of Pierre Solid Waste Manager, letting you know the City Supply Swap program can help. We'll recycle cleaning supplies, paint, and other household chemicals you don't want anymore. Plus, you're free to take any products other people dropped off for recycling. The swap program helps our customers and keeps things out of our landfill. Supplies we accept include stains and sealers, pesticides, pool chemicals, typical cleaning agents, as well as oil-based paint, latex paint, and spray paint. For additional information, call 605-773-7434. Again, that's 773-7434 for more information about recycling your household supplies and paint. Let the City of Pierre help you get your home and garage cleared out and cleaned up for the summer months.
This public service message is brought to you by the radio stations of the DRG Media Group in Pierre.
No score here as we head to the bottom of the third inning with the Zap coming up. And leading off, it'll be Quinn Ludvigsen. And we saw Ludvigsen take the mound last night. He pitched well. He's a utility guy, can do it all, and we'll see if he can get on base for the Zap. No hits yet for the Zap. Been a good pitching performance from both sides. It'll be 7-8-9 here for the Zap. William Furry still on the mound. He misses outside for ball 1. You know, we've talked a lot about this ILB and how many opportunities it affords to these players, especially when they can play well. And we talked about Peyton Fort and his great play here this summer. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. That one catches the inside of the strike zone for strike 1. And Peyton Fort will be playing baseball in closer to my neck of the woods next year. He'll be transferring to the Gwinnett area. That one chopped towards Fort and going to be cut off there by Seth Nelson. He'll toss to the covering Furry. And that's 7 straight batters retired for William Furry.
See if Andrew Phillips can change the tide here. A fast guy and just trying to get it going here. They want to get him on base as much as possible, let him steal some bags, and just got to make some good contact. With the wind here today as a lefty, anything can happen.
The first pitch to Phillips, swung on and missed. Good off-speed pitch there from Furry.
That was filthy from the pitcher.
And when guys play as well as Peyton Fort have, And you know what? With the ILB, here comes the 0-1, swung on a miss for strike 2. I always love seeing some of the different places that these guys have gone to not only extend their careers, but bulk up their resumes a little bit. Kwapnoski's another interesting guy. Here's the 0-2. That one up and away for ball 1. And you just had a note there in the break. He played some baseball in a very unique spot of this country.
Yeah, played summer ball last year in Alaska.
1-2, misses low, bounces in front of the plate. Count back to 2-2 for Andrew Phillips.
Played for the Chugiak Eagle River Chinooks.
And I have to imagine for Kwapnoski, here's the 2-2. That one just a bit low. Count runs full. So a nice job by Andrew Phillips falling behind 0-2 and now working it full. I have to imagine for Kwapnoski that was more about the experience of being in Alaska, seeing a different part of this country, this world, really. Here's the 3-2. Up and away, and a wonderful at-bat from Andrew Phillips. He draws the walk, and that'll be the first Zap base runner of this ball game.
Alaska really is gorgeous.
It sure is. I know I went up there with Pops to do a fishing expedition, and, well, we didn't see much baseball up there, I can tell you that. We didn't see much of anything except for the incredible outdoor experience. Once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. I think Kwapnoski probably saw that opportunity. He said, when am I going to be able to go play in Alaska and get the experience of living out there, spending a couple months, and doing something you love, playing baseball?
Yeah, it got to be a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. I've seen some broadcasting gigs on Indeed out in Alaska. Who knows where I could go after I graduate next summer.
Chop towards the shortstop. Foyer coming on, going to try to get the out at second, on the plate at first, and he is in there in time. So a nice job by Emiliano Curiel legging it out and beating the double play, but a nice play by Ben Foyer to get the lead runner. Andrew Phillips out at second, Peyton Fort with a nice turn. But again, Curiel just showing off that speed once again. Second time tonight we've seen him show off that speed.
That would have been an incredibly difficult double play to turn with those two guys.
Foyer and Fort did a nice job just to get that lead runner. Foyer had to sprint up to the skirt of the infield to field that ground ball. And that just kind of shows how good this middle infield is for the Sasquatch. Back to the top of the lineup, Gavin Frazier takes ball 1 high.
And Phillips made it a pretty close play, and he was probably likely going to steal sometime in that at-bat and just never got the chance.
Curiel leaning towards second. We'll see if he gets happy feet. That one in there for strike 1. And that was kind of, and I'm sure probably for you, now you're in this general vicinity of South Dakota, but that was a lot for me too, seeing this opportunity, wanting to get on the headset and call some games. Kind of said, when am I going to ever be in South Dakota? This one grounded sharply to third base. They're going to try to get Curiel at second and a fire over to Fort in time. So the Zap get a walk, but they can't do anything with it. We head to the top of the 4th inning. Still no score here at Hyde Stadium. We'll be back after this short break on River 92.7 and streaming on drgnews.com.
Looking for happenings in Central South Dakota? The Pierre Area Chamber of Commerce Community Calendar is your go-to for all the latest events. From entertainment to local benefits, community activities, and more, there's something for everyone. Email your event to contactchamber@pierre.org and it will be listed on the weekly calendar. To view the calendar, go to www.pierre.org. Let's celebrate together in the heart of South Dakota. The Pierre Area Chamber of Commerce, connecting our community one event at a time.
Doing a little spring cleaning at your house? I'm Val Keller, City of Pierre Solid Waste Manager, letting you know the City Supply Swap program can help. We'll recycle cleaning supplies, paint, and other household chemicals you don't want anymore. Plus, you're free to take any products other people dropped off for recycling. The swap program helps our customers and keeps things out of our landfill. Supplies we accept include stains and sealers, pesticides, pool chemicals, typical cleaning agents, as well as oil-based paint, latex paint, and spray paint. For additional information, call 605-773-7434. Again, that's 773-7434 for more information about recycling your household supplies and paint. Let the City of Pierre help you get your home and garage cleared out and cleaned up for the summer months.
This public service message is brought to you by the radio stations of the DRG Media Group in Pierre.
They're playing limbo with Shock the Wolf's toothbrush down there, provided by Delta Dental. I don't know, Dylan, that looks like one of the biggest toothbrushes I've ever seen.
Yeah, and I've been around Shock the Wolf a lot, and he certainly needs to brush his teeth. He does not smell very good.
Yeah, that thing's looking a little too clean. I think Shock needs to find his way to the bathroom, brush his teeth. As stepping into the batter's box is Carson Rather. I hand it over to Dylan Beach for the top of the fourth.
Easton Pratt out for his fourth inning of work has been spectacular so far in this pitcher's duel. Just one hit so far. That was for Spearfish. That was, of course, the hot hand Peyton Fort with the only hit of this ball game. We saw this game yesterday move really fast due to the pitching of Agadal, but today both pitchers really moving things along here as the 1-0 in there for strike one for Pratt.
Agadal had a great outing, but so did Wyatt Gladue when he came in for relief. Talked about how important it was to keep that game close, as Gladue did.
He really moved things along well as the 1-1 turns 1-2 for Pratt, working very effectively here so far today. The 6'5" right-armed flamethrower has the 1-2 from him now. In there, goes down looking. Another K for Easton Pratt, continuing his excellent outing.
And much like Agadal yesterday, Easton Pratt just looks so comfortable out there on the mound tonight.
Yeah,
stress-free, just throwing his pitches like he's throwing a bullpen session. And I think that's where some of you see some of the best pitching performances are when these guys are not throwing like they're throwing to a hitter. It's just the pitcher and catcher.
Pratt gets his 5th K of the night. Misses low there to Finn, as this is a very tall matchup here, 6'5" versus 6'7". As the 1-0 now set and fired from Pratt, skips in there for ball 2. That was the 52nd pitch of Pratt's day, so could continue this outing a bit deeper than we've kind of seen him so far. Sure, that would be a nice help for this Zap bullpen as the off-speed in there for strike one. The probable pitchers here today, Easton Pratt and Josh Porter. Two of those guys who have been starting here for the Zap. Porter was kind of talking to me earlier. I was expecting him to be going here today as Pratt gets set for the 2-1. Winds and fires in there for strike two. And I was talking to Porter, and he was saying if he's going to start this year, he's not a guy that you can kind of send a day early. He needs to have his rest to keep his arm where it's at. So we'll likely see him start again next week as that one sliced. Frazier dives, can't make the play. A one-out single there for Kyle Finn.
Perfectly placed ground ball, too, right past Saito and the diving Gavin Frazier. Two quick guys over there on the left side of that infield. Tough to squeeze a ball through those two. But Kyle Finn found the perfect little gap to sneak that one through.
Perfectly placed there for Finn as the second hit of the ball game for the Sasquatch, and in just total terms here, the Zap still yet to get on the board. They drew a walk last inning, so no perfect game here tonight. As Farwell, that one skips. Thought he got back to the backstop. He jumped up and turned around, but it was in front of him.
Yeah, I'm surprised Kyle Finn didn't try to take second base there. That's probably the scouting report that they've got on Farwell. Got a cannon there back behind the dish. Saw him throw out a couple Squatch base runners earlier on in this series. Kyle Finn not wanting to run into the second out of the inning, stays put.
And his mom's in the crowd, so you always got to give the attribute boost when you're playing in front of your mom. As the 1-0 here from Pratt. In there for strike one, and Pratt has been working very effectively, just not afraid of any of these batters really attacking him, throwing these strikes. Not afraid to put these over the plate as count even at one apiece. Nelson awaits the offering. Skips in there. Caught in between first and second. In there, not in time. Couldn't keep it in the glove for Frazier. It looked like Finn was going to be caught in a rundown for a minute, but they threw up the line to first base and then tried to throw it over to second, and Finn gets in there.
Well, a beautiful pick by Farwell behind the plate. Fired it down to Ludvigsen. And I think if Farwell had just taken a quick beat on that one and thrown it down to second, he would have had Kyle Finn dead to rights. Ludvigsen with a good throw in there. Frazier just not able to get over in time. Definitely would have had him had he been able to complete the throw and catch.
And Farwell had the split-second decision thinking Finn was going back to first, and Finn went to second instead. And the Zap unable to throw out the runner for out number 2. 2-1 now here to Seth Nelson. Accepts the call from Farwell. Pratt is set. Lines and fires off speed. In there for strike 2. Nelson wasn't expecting the off speed there.
Seeing some steady raindrops starting to fall here at Hyde Stadium. Nothing too vicious, but it's moving all the fans out from the first base side, and they're going to head under the awning back behind home plate.
2-2 from Pratt. Swung, chopped back to Pratt. Going to be a hard play at first. Over there in time was a absolute laser from Pratt to get the runner at first. Was a high chopper back to the pitcher. With an arm like Pratt, makes the play. Second out made here in the top of the 4th.
And that's one that Quinn Ludvigsen had to be ready for. That was maybe one of Easton Pratt's best fastballs of the afternoon, firing that one over to first.
This rain still coming down. Definitely something to look out for. These teams play again tomorrow, but in Spearfish, so a delay could get tricky as that one sliced towards Curiel out and left. Chasing, gets down fair. That one will score a run as Curiel was shading towards center field, and it just kind of sliced back the other way. A nice piece of hitting there from Sam Kwapnoski.
Yeah, Kwapnoski. It didn't really seem like he got a bunch of that baseball. Thought we might see another nice play by Curiel, but that ball just kept traveling, and that's just a testament to how much power Sam Kwapnoski's got in that bat.
It just about got out there going oppo, and was a just real impressive piece of hitting there from Sam Kwapnoski as he gets the 2-out double and scores the first run of tonight's ball game. Spearfish 3 hits in this one as the rain's starting to come down a lot heavier here now. Might have to get the crowd mic in as that one missed for ball 1. The way it's coming down, we might not be playing baseball here for much longer.
Well, there's a couple fans that paid for their VIP seats down along the netting. They're not going anywhere.
The true standoff tonight, see how long it takes to get to the awning, is that one put into play in the gap. Can't get there in time is Golden. It gets to Phillips. Another run will score. Another 2-out double. And the Sasquatch jump out to a 2-0 lead, and the rain is really starting to come down.
Yeah, this is a storm that has picked up its intensity. Those fans that are sitting down net side in their VIP seating, the wife has had enough. She's going to head under the awning, but the husband there
says, I paid good money for these seats.
He did, and he wants to stick there and stay. And a perfect photo opportunity here to show off how many fans we got sitting underneath the general admission seating. Delta Dental is wrapping up there.
And we are calling it for now.
Yeah, they're going to head to a rain delay here.
And the way it is coming down, I could see this one just getting canceled, maybe picked back up in Spearfish tomorrow.
So we'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll kind of relay what's going on here at the ballpark. The rain has picked up. We're going to head into a rain delay and possibly postpone this game to tomorrow. But we'll keep you updated on all the happenings here at Hyde Stadium. We'll step away. We'll be back after this short break on River 92.7.
Support the Highmore Volunteer Fire Department next Friday, June 20th at 8 p.m. for their street dance with music by the Urbandale Lane Band. Then on Saturday, come enjoy a smoked roast beef sandwich, sweet corn, and potato salad from 5:30 to 7:30, just $15 a plate, all located at the Highmore Fire Hall. So please join us to support the Highmore Volunteer Fire Department next Saturday, June 21st at 5:30. This invitation brought to you by Titan Machinery.
Here at the DRG Media Group, we know free, over-the-air radio works to get the word out. But we also know these days people consume information at different times of day and through a variety of different platforms. DRG Media Group's AM and FM radio stations, drgnews.com website, and DRG News mobile app provide local news, sports, weather, area high school athletic events, music and entertainment news, and more. And thanks to our advertisers, it's available to you for free. But we want you to share information with us too. By using the Contact Us feature on the drgnews.com website or the DRG News mobile app, you can send us a request for advertising information, a news or sports item, a weather cancellation, and more. Fill in your information, select which type of inquiry you have, provide the relevant details, then click Submit. We make qualifying information available to the public using our various DRG Media Group platforms.
Well, as quickly as it came in, it's slowing down, but the Tarps are on the field here at Hyde Stadium. It was funny to see the grounds crew, who also double as the Zap ball players, get the Tarps out there on the mound and around home plate. But they got it mixed up. They brought the home plate tarp over to the mound and then had to bring the home plate tarp from the mound over to home plate. They got it mixed up, but they got it covered now. And Dylan, our first rain delay of the season. Do we have any updates on what might happen here?
We haven't gotten anything yet. The GM, Alex Sheets, seems very confident this is just going to pass on through.
It is South Dakota
so far.
It is South Dakota, so we'll stick around here for a couple minutes, and we'll see if we can get any updates for you. Currently, in the top of the fourth inning, the Sasquatch have pushed 2 runs across. But we'll talk a little bit about the ball game here. Easton Pratt has done a nice job out on the mound, giving up a couple strong base hits. That's something you kind of normally see as you get through the lineups here, as you get familiarized with the pitcher, starting pitcher, and what he's doing. And we see Easton Pratt with the jacket over there on the right arm. But 4 hits for the Sasquatch. The Zap have had a couple base runners by walks, but no hits yet registered for Oahe. And now we see Richard Gilmore heading back down to the field of play. But Easton Pratt been firing some good pitches here in the start.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting how long this rain delay goes, see how he can stay loose to try to keep this day going. You got another starter available here today in Porter if he can't keep going, but it's going to be interesting to see how these two teams come out of this rain delay.
Absolutely, and as it is in South Dakota, these rainstorms just kind of pop up out of nowhere. Got some fans enjoying some slushies. Got some young fans enjoying the parting raindrops as it came in as quickly as it left. There's still a slight couple raindrops going as we see some ball players heading back out onto the field. Looks like Tarps are coming off the field here, so that's good news. Looks like we might be able to continue this baseball game as we pull up our forecast here. Looks like it's moving just above the top of us. We might just caught the outskirts of this brief storm running through. Good news for our VIP fans. They're making their way back to their seats, drying them off quickly. Tarps are being pulled off by the Zap ball players who, as I mentioned, double as our grounds crew.
I think it's going to be questionable maybe a bit later into this game, depending on how long this one goes, maybe around that 9 o'clock. So maybe as this game's kind of wrapping up, some more storms kind of looking like they're in the forecast. But doesn't look like the damage was anything too much. But it's going to be interesting to see how these two teams stayed loose.
Well, we're going to step away. We do have a trivia question coming up here in the inning break for you, brought to you by DRG Media Group. And we'll get you that here in the inning break. And go ahead and submit your answers on the YouTube comment section. And no cheating. Nobody looking it up online.
Yeah, this is an honest game. No cheating.
Absolutely. We want to make sure that we can't really do anything about it. It's an honor system type of thing. But we're going to give you a
We will know.
Eli Lewis will know.
Eli Lewis. You don't want to make him mad.
But the players are making their way back out to the field. We're going to step away here for one more break. When we come back, we'll have the resumption of the top of the fourth inning here at Hyde Stadium for you.
Things in life you can't control. Your in-laws just bought a new house right next door. Construction is behind schedule, so you have to detour to work again. That car next to you just lost control and swerved into your lane. Things in life you can control. Wearing your seatbelt. In South Dakota, over 55% of those who die in a car crash aren't buckled up. Control what you can. Always wear your seatbelt.
Brought to you by the South Dakota Office of Highway Safety, South Dakota Broadcasters Association, and this station.
Dunes Golf is celebrating their 30th anniversary this summer. They look forward to seeing old friends and new acquaintances on the driving range and on the course throughout the summer. Play 9 or 18 holes. Pay by the round. Save with a punch card or become a member for unlimited play. Dunes Golf is a great location for group outings or a summer play day. Call 605-223-2525 or see golfdunes.com. Just 1 mile north of Fort Pierre on Highway 1806. Dunes Golf.
Get ready, Central South Dakota. Oahe Days in Pierre is back, June 20th and 21st at Steamboat Park.
It's the annual music and arts festival you don't want to miss. Live music, amazing food, local vendors, carnival rides, a beer garden, and so much more.
Friday night, it's 90s party band, the Mallrats.
And Saturday, country fans, Struggle Jennings takes the stage.
The 3 bands each night start at 5 p.m.
Grab the full lineup and details now at oahedays.com.
If you're interested in becoming a valued sponsor of an Oahe Zap broadcast, you can contact us for more information at sports@dakotaradiogroup.com or call us at 605-224-8686.
Back here, and the rain clouds have gone away momentarily. It's starting to, a bit more coming back. We might have just came back for nothing, but Pratt comes back on the mound. He fired strike one to Fort. Runner on second, 2 away, as that one misses low for ball one.
We might have to switch up our trivia question. Was that the shortest rain delay in baseball history? As quickly as they put the tarps on, they were pulling them off.
Yeah, and they might be bringing them back. There are some dark, dark clouds off on the horizon.
There sure are.
As it is really bright out, surprisingly. These lights doing their job. The 1-1 swung on and missed for strike two. Pratt ahead in the count, trying to retire the dangerous hitter Peyton Fort. Back-to-back doubles have done the damage for Spearfish. 2 runs on a pair of 2-out doubles. And Pratt trying to settle back in, get the mud off his shoes. 1 strike away from making it out of this inning. Get that nice warm jacket back on. Try to stay warm, see how much longer his day goes, as Porter is warming up in the bullpen. As the 1-2 from Pratt. Popped up. Saito settling underneath it. Called off by Frazier. He makes the play for out number 3. And we will go ahead and get our 4th inning trivia break, presented by DRG. We've seen a lot of long home runs here lately. Byron Buxton hitting the 2nd longest homer of the season last night, 479 feet.
Still can't get over that shot. That is unbelievable from Byron Buxton.
Second only to Mike Trout's 484-foot homer this year. The trivia question tonight, what is the shortest home run in MLB history? We'll be giving you that one in between the 6th inning break. So you'll have to wait a bit for that one, as we'll see the pitcher trot back out. It's Furry. There was a bit of action in the Sasquatch bullpen for a minute, but I don't suppose anyone would want to warm up with the rain coming back down like this.
Well, the rain is continuing back on, and as you mentioned, and I think our fans can see it on the YouTube stream and streaming on drgnews.com, there are some pitch black clouds hanging over top and off to our left, right over the pond outside the Capitol building. And not only has the rain picked back up after that delay, the wind has picked back up to an intense fashion. Those flags out in right center and beyond are hanging on by a thread.
It just looks nasty out. It looks like rain. And the drops are coming in on the windows just about sideways here. As if this weather keeps up, I know I said it earlier, but just some nasty, nasty stuff here developing in Pierre. Lucky maybe not to see any sort of lightning or thunder off in the horizon.
Well, you can play with a lot of rain. It becomes a wet baseball, and that can pose some issues. But when you get lightning, if you see anything like that off in the distance, that'll be enough to call a game.
Yeah.
We hope we don't get any of that here this afternoon.
As Furry comes back out, he's got a no-hit bid right now going into the 4th. As Nick Golden steps up to the plate. Nick Golden, probably the most bruised player in the ILB, as he showed bunt, pulled it back, put in there for strike 1. Has been plunked just so many times this year. 7 to be exact, as he slaps that one to Foyer at short. Across the diamond in time for out number 1.
And as we mentioned in the pregame, this is a left-handed hitter's dream scenario. That wind, if you just pop one up, it's got the opportunity to really carry that wind out over the right center field wall.
Just blowing ferociously here. Palizzi to the plate. 1 away as he gets set for the offering. Misses outside for ball 1. I'm not seeing any comments in YouTube for the trivia question. Maybe people are still pondering it over.
Well, that's a good thing, because that means that they're not doing their research online. Again, the question was the shortest home run, and we'll add a little something to it. Which ballpark did it occur in? That part should be easy if you know your ballparks.
2-0 to Palizzi. Slap towards center field. That will get down in the gap. Bounces off the wall. Polizzi going towards second. Will be in there in time. A nice bit of hitting there for Polizzi. The one-out double ends the no-hit bid.
Wonderful piece of hitting by Polizzi right there. Sent it right towards where he did when he went over the wall with his deep shot a couple games ago. And I wonder if Jamie Habiger had another impassioned speech with his ball club down there in the dugout like he did yesterday afternoon before the no-hit bid got broken up.
Very easily could have in that rain delay. There's been some very famous rain delay speeches in history. Jason Hayward in that 2016 World Series giving the Cubs some momentum. I don't really like that speech as much as maybe Coach Habiger's, but with one away, Ty Farwell at the plate slaps that one towards left field. Sizing it as Finn, just barely keeping it in the glove there. Had maybe misjudged it a bit, but the tall left fielder able to reel that one in.
I think Finn feels lucky that he was able to make that play. Wynn doing all sorts of numbers on that ball as it was really well struck by Farwell. And Finn kind of camped underneath it at first and then realized I better start tracking back after this thing.
A shorter left fielder would not have been able to make that play, just barely kept it in the top of the glove as Trey Runge comes up with 2 away. Polizzi on second. Heavy rain, heavy wind here at Hyde Stadium. The 0-0. Inside for ball one. As it was some good baseball weather we've had this week, but it was an overcast day to start, and it has given way to rain. As the 1-0 now, slapped by Runge into the head of the third baseman. Runge will be safe at first. Polizzi safe at third.
Diego Trujillo had his hands full over there on third. Luckily for him, that ball didn't get by him, and luckily for him also, it didn't hit him square in the face. Kind of nipped his ball cap after it careened off his glove. Thought he might have a play tagging out Polizzi at third, but he did a good job just to keep that ball in the infield and save a run.
Yeah, Polizzi would have certainly scored there. Was a hard hit ball by Runge. It'll bring Naruto Saito to the plate. As that one in there for strike one. We mentioned Saito, 5'6", put a ball out in BP.
Well, he's got a huge gap between the shortstop and the third baseman.
As he slaps that one foul for strike two.
He might have that in mind. Trujillo over on third trying to shade over and keep Polizzi close. And Ben Foyer shading him up the middle. Obviously, Saito being a left-handed hitter. Those guys tend to play those balls more up the middle, and with William Furry not being the hardest thrower. Talk about a hard thrower. What a throw from Jamie Habiger over from the third base coach's box. Back to the bullpen where a ball escaped loose.
It's an impressive throw from the coach. Played his college ball at Sacramento State as Saito jumps out of the way of ball one.
I have to imagine Habiger's probably feeling that throw. I can't imagine he warms up too much before the game. But he put a charge into that one, really let it fly.
Might be feeling that one on the bus ride to Spearfish tomorrow. Not a long ride by any means, just about 3 hours. 190 miles as Saito slaps that one foul.
Good stay alive pitch, just fouling that one off, getting the bat on the ball. Wasn't trying to do anything with it but keep himself alive.
A couple of practice swings from Saito. Furry sets. That one misses outside for ball one. A good play to keep that one close from Rather. Just about skipped out of his glove. And as it rains, that's something to maybe look out for. Grip on the ball as the 2-2. Inside. Saito, I think he about thought he got rung up for a minute as Gilmore was kind of stretching back and stepping to make the 3-2. As runners on the corner, the full count. Saito awaits the delivery. Slapped foul there from Saito, just barely got something on that one.
Luckily he did. I think if Carson Rather didn't have a wet baseball to deal with, he might have been able to hang on to that for strike 3 and get themselves out of this jam.
Runners on the corner. Saito at the plate, trying to be the hero. Misses outside for ball 4. Saito will take his base. Bit of a 2-out rally forming. Quinn Ludvigsen to the plate. We saw him pitch for the first time last night. I got to talk to him after the game. I asked him, when was the last time you pitched? And he said back in the state tournament in Minnesota his senior year of high school. He just did his freshman season. He was telling me that he was supposed to be a two-way guy at college. He said his coach wouldn't let him pitch. And we thought he kind of just had the curveball and fastball. He said he has the 4-pitch mix of a slider and a changeup in addition, as that one misses low for ball 1.
Would really like to see a nice patient at bat here from Ludvigsen. You got the bases juiced, and that's a good start, laying off that off speed. Work this count into your favor.
Yeah, with 2 away, a walk would be huge, as that one misses for ball 2. Bases juiced for Ludvigsen. Back at first base tonight, as we've seen him make some good defensive plays. A chance to come up big on offense here as that one catches the outside of the plate for strike 1.
I think Ludvigsen might have just been waiting for him to throw a strike before he takes the bat off the shoulder. Still a good hitter's count here.
2-1 here to Ludvigsen. Bases loaded. Outside for ball 3.
Now you're really in a good hitter's count because a ball will walk in a run. Only a 2-run ball game here. So Ludvigsen has got to be seeing double. Got his eyes wide with the 3-1 count.
See if he has the green light. The 3-1 runs in there for strike 2. Ludvigsen started taking off for first. He thought that one missed, but full 3-2 count. 2 away. Bases loaded. Zap trying not to strand 3 on here as Ludvigsen awaits the payoff pitch. Fouls it off into himself. Slapped it into the ground, hit himself in the hand as we will retry the payoff pitch.
Another good keep me alive swing there. We saw one from Saito, now one from Ludvigsen. And as a hitter, you just kind of want to keep fouling those pitches off that might not be in your zone but are in the strike zone until you get that perfect one right over the plate, or he throws one outside and you can walk in a run.
Furry agrees to the pitch. The 3-2 here to Ludvigsen. 2 away. Fouls that one off. That one out of the park. Skips into the grandstand. One lucky fan getting a foul ball, doing a little jig out there.
I got to tell you, this rain is not affecting those younger Zap fans, that's for sure.
They're like the only ones not under the grandstand. As the third 3-2 pitch here. Swung on and bolted from Ludvigsen. That one has a chance, and it's gone off the top of the scoreboard. Quinn Ludvigsen, a bases-clearing 2-out grand slam.
Well, Kwapnowski had one yesterday, and a little payback for the Zap. Absolute moonshot, and we talked about that wind helping out left-handed hitters. And he waited for the perfect pitch, fouled off a couple that weren't right where he wanted it. Taking advantage of the opportunity, and how big is that shot right there to put the Zap back out in front?
A 2-out grand slam from Ludvigsen, and what a swing off the top of the Bank West scoreboard out there, and was just a beauty.
Ethan Mooser gave a little bit of a chase towards that ball, but Sam Kwapnowski in center, a guy who knows when a grand slam is leaving the ballpark, he saw that one off the bat and said there's no chance this one's staying in.
Just a great at-bat from Ludvigsen. Fouled off on the third 3-2 pitch. Puts a grand slam out of the park.
And I know we got the wind blowing, but with those raindrops falling, that still takes a good bit of power to get a ball out of here. That one got all the way up to the train tracks. I think there's a couple folks that are over at that car show that are saying, what is a baseball doing back here?
Probably weren't expecting one of those to ruin the car show like this rain has, but a long mound visit here. Nobody warming up for the Sasquatches. Furry just trying to get out of this inning now with 2 away.
And that's an at-bat that every hitter dreams of. A 3-2 count, 2 outs, and bases loaded. I'd love to know how many times Quinn Ludvigsen has hit that same home run in his backyard when he was a kid.
And that's a ball that sure he would love to have back. We'll see if those kids turn that one in for a slushy out there in right field.
Might have a dent in it.
I found the grand slam ball from Klopnoski the other night, as that one in there low to Phillips for ball 1. As Ludvigsen puts a charge into this cloudy sky for a 2-out grand slam to retake the lead 4-2. Zapper being no hit into this inning, as it has been 2 hits, one of them being the grand slam, doing all the damage for the Zappas. Phillips fouls that one off. The count 1-2. Phillips trying to keep this 2-out rally alive. We saw the grand slam the other night with 2 outs for Klopnoski. They scored a couple more after, as that one runs inside on Phillips. They had a 7-run frame. Only 1 was scored before that grand slam. We were talking Brady Glenn was going to be happy to get out of the inning with just the 1 out. It was just an unfortunate inning for the Zappas. That one misses outside for ball 3. And once again, Phillips working a count here, showing some impressive plate discipline.
And maybe one of those forgotten at-bats in this whole sequence after the 3-2 pitch that's fouled off. The Naruto Saito walk with 2 outs. He got behind in that count. I believe the count was either 0-2 or 1-2, and he stayed patient, fought off a couple pitches, and he let William Furry throw a couple outside of the zone and happily took his walk, giving way for Ludvigsen to hit the grand slam.
As that one misses outside to Phillips, and Saito took strike 1 looking, then fouled one off. So it was behind in the count 0-2, and then worked it for a walk, and then just allowed this inning to keep going. A couple of times this inning looked like it was just going to give way. Palizzi hit that double to get things started. 2-out double, and then Runge hit that hard one to the third baseman Trujillo, and Saito walked as Phillips goes on pitch number 1. In there in time. Another stolen bag there for Andrew Phillips as Curiel took strike 1.
Great throw from Rather. Nice tag from Peyton Ford over there at second. But give Phillips credit. He's got some speed, maybe a little bit of surprising speed to some.
He was ready to go, as he was likely going to steal on that last time he reached on the walk, but Curiel swung on the first pitch, as that one in there for strike 2 on Curiel. The rain's still just kind of sprinkling in here.
It's not a heavy rain, but it's heavy rain drops.
As Curiel, the 0-2 here, Phillips bouncing around at second. That one runs in and catches Curiel on the noggin. Even ducked out of the way, and the off-speed kind of just landed right on top of him.
Grazed right off the back of his helmet, and he kind of shook his head, saying, I think I felt that catch the helmet.
I mean, he tried to duck out of the way of it, but the off-speed kind of just dropped in like a bomb on top of him.
And I have to imagine these pitchers are going to be struggling with these wet baseballs.
This 2-out rally has been so impressive for the Zap as that one runs inside on Frazier for ball 1. Lineup turns around. Frazier, the leadoff shortstop, has been oh so good this season for the Zap. Has been a mainstay in this lineup. Has been a name who, whenever he's ready to go, has been an instant pencil in at short and leadoff. So he leads the team in walks. Phillips bouncing around at second still. That one in there for strike 1 to Frazier. Counting even at 1 apiece. Rain's starting to sound a bit heavier here again at the ballpark. Zap got a 4-2 lead on the back of a Quinn Ludvigsen grand slam as that off-speed misses high for ball 2.
Yeah, we kind of got fooled, thought this was going to move out, this rain, move out of the area, but it's just been steady, and now it's really picking up to a feverish pace.
2-1 here to Frazier. Misses outside for ball 3. And I'm not sure how many more at-bats we might have. If it keeps going at this pace, it won't make up its mind on if it wants to rain hard enough to delay this game again or maybe even postpone it to get finished up in Spearfish tomorrow night. I'm sure the good folks who came out to the ballpark tonight want to see some baseball. As the 3-1 to Frazier in there for strike 2. Count full again. See if Frazier can work off some pitches and see one he likes. He's very good at fouling off the pitches he doesn't want, but a 3-2 count, a chance to add to his walk total as it is really coming down now. 3-2 fouled off from Frazier into himself. And just every couple of seconds this rain just decides to pick back up.
You can really hear it beating off the top of that metal roofing behind home plate that covers the general admission area. The wind, the rain, it is pouring now.
It is really coming down. This is not baseball weather. As the 3-2, 2 away, runners on first and second. Coach Habiger wants this to go to delay. I think the pitcher thinks so too.
Yeah,
we're getting time and we're going to delay.
Habiger signaling over to home plate umpire Richard Gilmore. Enough is enough.
This is crazy. It is raining cats and dogs.
And now we're going to have a conversation between Justice Scott and Jamie Habiger. What's so interesting about this is these two teams are going to see each other for 3 more tomorrow in Spearfish. So now it looks like Corey Baker and Jamie Habiger along with Justice Scott are going to have a conversation there right in front of home plate. What's interesting to note here is the Zap do not have a full infield tarp. They've only got tarps to cover the pitcher's mound in the home plate area. So we'll stick around here. I do want to just jump back and talk a little bit about that grand slam by Quinn Ludvigsen. And you hate to bring a rain delay into effect here after a team has been kind of finding their rhythm offensively. But I think for both coaching staffs, you don't want to send your pitcher out there and force him to deal with a wet baseball. And another thing I was curious about is the home plate umpire, does Richard Gilmore, does he expand his zone at all for these pitchers? Because it's so hard to not only control where your pitch is traveling to.
I'm not sure how much work this tarp's going to do. There's so much rain just already coming out on top of it.
Well, you can see
home
the
plate
infield.
Is soaked.
The infield has changed hue and color. And this would take some serious work from our grounds crew, a.k.a. the bench players from the Oahe Zap here this afternoon to get this back into playing condition.
Aiden Johnson's pretty impressive out on that riding mower to rake out the infield sometimes.
Well, it looks like there's still some conversation going on.
I just don't think we're going to get back to playing baseball after this one.
I'm not so sure we are either there, buddy.
And
the folks have kind of positioned themselves under the general admission area, but they had to really position themselves down closer to the netting behind home plate. Alex Sheets, the general manager, and Jamie Habiger still having a conversation.
My nightmare is I have to pick up the trash and tables after this, too, as an intern, and it is running down the stairs. Slippery stairs contest here in Pierre. Get some ESPN the Ocho action.
Well, as it currently stands, we're in the bottom of the 4th inning. It's a 4-2 Zap lead after the Quinn Ludvigsen grand slam. Some fans making some smart plays there by covering up the nachos with a baseball mitt. Shows where their intentions lie. So we'll step away here for a quick break. We'll try to get an update for you on this rainy day here in central South Dakota. Zap currently leading 4-2 in the bottom of the 4th with a rain delay out before us. We'll be back after this short break on River 92.7 and streaming on drgnews.com.
Thinking of travel? Pierre Regional Airport offers non-stop flights to Denver. Starting August 1st, book your destination at united.com. With United Mileage Plus, you can save more by earning miles when you fly from Pierre Regional Airport. 1-hour flights to Denver and the world beyond. Avoid the crowds, avoid the drive, and enjoy free parking when you fly from Pierre Regional Airport. United Airlines in Pierre starting August 1st. Skip the drive. Fly from Pierre.
We're good at making excuses for things we don't want to do.
I can't work late because my cat has a job interview.
Unfortunately, we're also good at making excuses for things we shouldn't do, like driving drunk.
There's nothing on the back roads but cows.
The truth is, there's no good reason to drink and drive, not even if you stick to the back roads. If you drink, don't drive. No excuses. Brought to you by the South Dakota Office of Highway Safety, South Dakota Broadcasters Association, and this station.
Well, we think we might have an update for you here from Hyde Stadium. Jamie Habiger and Justice Scott, along with General Manager of the Oahe Zap, Alex Sheets, having a conversation back behind home plate. As this one, you see Corey Baker, our field umpire, has got his cooler in hand. And this infield is beyond soaked. I can't imagine we're going to have an extension of this game. Habiger and Scott exchanging handshakes. And now we're going to have a conversation between Corey Baker and Jamie Habiger.
Yeah, they're shaking hands, too. I think we're done here.
They had a handshake there, and we got to tell you, folks, if you're not watching on the YouTube, if you're listening on River 92.7, the infield is absolutely underwater at this point, as just about everything else is here. We had the initial rain come through, and they pulled out the tarps, covered up the home plate area and the pitcher's mound. They pulled them off. The rain stopped for a moment, but the dark clouds, as Dylan's getting actually a phone call and a live update from Alex Sheets, the general manager. They pulled the tarps off when the rain stopped. And they, as we hear the conversation going on in the background between Alex Sheets and Dylan Beach, we'll have him back on here in a moment to tell us what the final word is. But, you know, we saw those tarps come off. They got the game back underway, and then the rain just kind of picked up and started to continue. We thought it might blow over, as often does here in South Dakota, but it didn't blow over. No, it only picked up slowly but steadily, and then a strong, heavy rain came through. And welcome Dylan Beach back on the headset after getting the direct line from Alex Sheets. What's the word, Dylan?
Yeah, Boss Man said this one is getting delayed. They'll pick it back up in Spearfish.
As we might have expected. Well, that's it from us here this afternoon. We'll pick up this game at Spearfish. Did he have a date for when that would pick up? Is it going to be tomorrow? Is it going to be on Saturday? Will it be on Sunday when it's an afternoon start?
I think we'll go for tomorrow, but we did not get an exact day of when that one will be picked back up. I'd assume maybe tomorrow, maybe get an earlier start for these two games we have, but yeah, there was no chance of this one getting back played in Pierre.
Not a chance. The field is absolutely underwater here. Well, as it stands, this game has been postponed thanks to a little bit, the weather gods, Mother Nature might be a Zap fan. She held it off long enough for Quinn Ludvigsen to hit that grand slam to give the Zap the 4-2 lead, but the rain continuing to pound us here at Hyde Stadium. So this game, as I mentioned, will be postponed, and we'll keep you updated on the local sports page at drgnews.com as to when it will be made up. We'll keep you updated there. But Dylan, your final thoughts before we sign off a little bit early here tonight.
Yeah, just costing us what was shaping up to be a really nice game, and I mean, Quinn Ludvigsen having that big shot and the Zap really gaining momentum. We'll see if they can keep it going when this game gets picked back up.
Well, as it stands, we're in the bottom of the fourth inning. Zap leading 4-2. This one will be postponed. We want to give a big thanks to the Pierre Chamber of Commerce, Dunes Golf, the Pierre Regional Airport, and Venture Communications for giving us our first inning fiber fact. And don't worry, we're going to bring you the DRG Media Group trivia question here. The question was, what was the shortest home run in MLB history? As, we had the 479-foot bomb from Byron Buxton last night for the Twins. That answer, 302 feet from Lorenzo Cain, and that home run happened in Fenway Park, one of the smallest ballparks in the MLB. And it's kind of interesting with the Red Sox and the Yankees being rivals, having two really short porches in right field.
Yeah, and that ball wouldn't have even gotten out in Hyde Stadium. I mean, we got 324 to the right field foul post. That would have been 20 feet shy of getting out here.
Well, we want to thank you all for tuning into today's broadcast of Oahe Zap Baseball. This one will be made up. We're not sure the actual date yet, but like I said, we'll keep you updated on drgnews.com at the local sports page. Big thanks to all of our sponsors from Pierre Chamber of Commerce, from Pierre Regional Airport, from Dunes Golf, and from the Venture Communications, who deliver you fiber optic and they would not have any issues with your internet if you had fiber installed by Venture Communications with this weather we've got rolling through right now. We'll keep you updated. Big thanks for tuning in. For Eli Lewis, our producer, director, and engineer extraordinaire, for my partner Dylan Beach, I'm Justin Cowart, signing off here on a little bit of an early afternoon from Hyde Stadium. Our next broadcast will be next Monday afternoon. It'll be another Bolt Buddies evening. Not another Bolt Buddies evening. The next Bolt Buddies will come on the 24th of June, but we will have a home game against Hastings, and we'll have the coverage for you right here on River 92.7. From Hyde Stadium, I'm Justin Cowart, signing off, wishing you a great, great evening.
This broadcast of Oahe Zap Baseball was brought to you by DRG Media Group and its sponsors. The next home Zap game will be broadcast right here on River 92.7 and DRGnews.com. Thanks for tuning in.